Welcome to Sensei Chat. How's everybody doing? Got a ton of information and news to go over. The crypto space is a busy space as it ever has been. Hope everyone is doing well. It's good to see everyone. We got Ariana here holding down the chat. What's up, Rodders? Good to see you. We do have some bullish XRP news that we're going to talk about. Juan's here. What's up, Florida in the house? Good to see you, Juan. What's going on, man? All right, let's get into this. If this is your first Sensei Chat, we usually go through a ton of different news and information from around the crypto space. Then I will answer some of your questions. This should be a really, really good time. If you are just now joining us, if you're on YouTube, please hit like. If you are on Twitter, think about sharing the chat out. I'd really appreciate you. What's up, Black Hawk? Good to see you. Molly's in the house. Good to see you, Molly. Mr. Ward in the building. Let's go. What's up, Sandman? What's up, Sandman? The bus driver's in the house. Chipper. What's up, Chipper? What's up, Richard? Let's go. Good to see all of you guys. Always nice. You guys always bring a smile to my face every time I get to get up here and talk with you guys. So, let's get into this. So, obviously because of the Trump administration's bullish attitude towards the cryptocurrency market, we already have stablecoin legislation moving its way through Congress. Next will be a bill for the rest of crypto. I did want to jump into this really quickly, though. There's a few things I want to dive into before we get into some stuff. So let's talk about some Bitcoin news. President Trump's executive director says we want as much Bitcoin as we can get. Let me play this for you guys.
Well, we delivered on the president's promises that he made on the campaign trail. The president was adamant about creating the SBR. We wanted to make sure that we did it right in a way that respected Bitcoin for being so unique, and also gave credence to innovation in other spaces of the digital asset world. So, for us here, we look at Bitcoin, it's not a security, it's a commodity. It has intrinsic stored value that's traditionally accepted. It has, as David likes to describe, the immaculate conception. There's no issuer. And, that's why, as you saw in the executive order, we compared this to digital gold. It's something that's imperative for the United States to have, retain, continue to build on. And I think that's worth pointing out that, the way that this is constructed, we talked about ways of acquiring more Bitcoin in budget neutral ways that won't cost the taxpayer a dime. And what I like to say about this president, I think it's high time that our president started accumulating assets for the American people, which is what President Trump is doing, rather than taking it away. And I think that's one thing that we really wanted to make clear in this executive order. And we're looking forward to working with our partners at Treasury and the Secretary of Commerce in order to find those budget neutral ways in which we can acquire more. I've been asked all the time, it's like, how much do you want? I said, well, that's like asking a country, how much gold do you want, right? I mean, as much as we can get.
As much as we can get. I mean, it would be cool if they, they're just so Bitcoin heavy. When this whole thing started with the US, it was really, how does the US help pay down its debt over the next few years, right? And crypto is a great source to do that. I just don't think buying, $100 billion worth of Bitcoin or something like that, it's really going to do much in the grand scheme of things. If you spend that money on, let's say, like XRP or HBAR or something like that, and then true value is reached on some of these tokens, I think you're going to have a much better way of paying down debt that way. Anyways, it looks like Solana network transactions fees dropped to the lowest level since September. I think people are waking up to, understanding that maybe investing all your money into meme coins isn't probably going to work out too well for most of the market. And, you're seeing a huge drop off in transactions on Solana because of that. Michael Saylor put this out. Bitcoin to 440,000 this year is programmed. 440,000 is definitely on the higher end of what I've seen. But if you take a look at the 2020 chart, comparing it to the 2025 chart, it looks very, very similar of what we're experiencing right now. And so he thinks that we're going to be heading to 440 grand. Man, that would create such a bull market for altcoins. It wouldn't be funny. You also have Kathy Wood here talking about Bitcoin to hit 1.5 million. Do you see that the grand distraction is here and live and in front of us? Everybody is distracted by the big shiny thing called Bitcoin. Nobody else is paying attention to what really matters in the crypto space, which is utility. And, unfortunately, all of these people that are only investing in Bitcoin are not going to see that true value. Let me play this.
I want to start right with Bitcoin and what you see as the outlook for Bitcoin's price. In recent weeks, you've come out and said, $1.5 million per Bitcoin by the year 2030. Since then, though, we've seen quite a few outflows. We've seen a lot of volatility. Sonali just went through that. Is that still your view? 1.5 million by 2030?
Yes, it is our view. I think right now we're in a risk-off period generally. And if you've been watching Bitcoin, it's almost been a leader in terms of risk on, risk off. So I think that's what we're seeing. If you look at our on-chain analytics, what you will see is that we are in the middle of, we're a little bit more than halfway through a 4-year cycle. We think we're still in a bull market. And we believe that the deregulation that we're seeing here in the United States is going to be very important to institutions moving into this new asset class. Asset allocators have to have a point of view on this new asset class. And we think by putting it in portfolios, risk-adjusted returns for the entire portfolio will go up.
All right, really quickly, I just want you to understand this, right? Bitcoin is, I use an average of 85,000 right now. Bitcoin's a little bit lower, but a 1.5 million, you're only talking about a 17x on your money. If the goal here is to sell the crypto 5 or 10 years down the line and pay off America's debt, how are you going to do that if, someone like Cathie Wood, who understands how important the crypto market is, if we're only talking about a 17x on Bitcoin, you're not even going to be able to make a dent in America's, debt crisis with Bitcoin. That's what I've been trying to communicate and tell people. All of these people are just pumping their bags. Like, I think you need to be very clear on this. The average retail investor that doesn't own any Bitcoin couldn't care less about Bitcoin, right? The average retail investor is not going to get rich on Bitcoin. Bitcoin, unless you are a part of the boys club and have been in Bitcoin since like 2013, 2014, or before that, your chances are you don't hold more than like half a Bitcoin or 1/10 of a Bitcoin. So I don't know. I'd like to see this, changing up, but anyways, Minnesota State Senator Justin Miller has introduced the Minnesota Bitcoin Act. So more states moving forward with their Bitcoin promises. Here are some companies that, public companies that are holding Bitcoin. So, hey, you got Coinbase, of course, Galaxy, several other crypto companies, Exodus. And then here, medium companies, there's Thumbs Up, never heard of it. Net Holdings, never heard of it. Healthcare, I guess these are some healthcare companies never heard of. Energy companies, not familiar with. When you take a look at this list, the only people that I understand is like BlackRock, a few of these people on this list, miners, others. It's still a very, very niche market with people that are holding Bitcoin. CryptoQuant CEO Ki Young Zhu expects the next 6 to 12 months to be bearish or showing sideways price action for Bitcoin. So some people are saying we are still in a bull market. Others are saying we are ready to be looking for a more bearish outlook over the next 6 to 12 months. And I'm going to show you some data on why that could be in just a second. Arthur Hayes here talking about Bitcoin could be at 250K by the end of this year. Let me play this.
We had a great run from 20,000 to 110 on Bitcoin, essentially, FTX lows until, Trump coin. And now we're having a 30% correction. It's pretty normal for a bull market. So I think, yes, people might have had a little bit too much leverage. Maybe they bought too many shit coins, but I think we're going to clear out all that dead wood. And I still believe that we could be 250,000 Bitcoin by the end of the year. Does that mean that the particular shit coin you own is going to be 100x higher? Probably not, because people are getting a little bit more discerning in the type of things that they own. But at least from Bitcoin perspective and the global, overall market capitalization of crypto, I think we're going to be much higher by the end of the year than we are.
All right, much higher by the end of the year. We'll have to see how that all pans out. Good to see everybody. I just want to check in with you guys in the chat. How's it all going? If you guys could share the space out, if you're on like YouTube, hit like. If you're on Twitter, please think about sharing out the space. I really appreciate you guys. We're going to get into some XRP news, and I'm going to answer some of your questions here in just a little bit. Let's keep it going here. Does look like yesterday the spot Bitcoin ETF sector saw a net inflow of about $274 million, the largest single day increase since February 4th. It does look like, I thought this was a great clip, right? This is what's his name? Larry Fink, before BlackRock got into Bitcoin. Listen to what he's saying here. right when I heard this, I was like, ooh, this did not age well. Cringeworthy. Let me play it.
Is it true that you're building out a cryptocurrency capability?
No.
Don't your clients want crypto exposure?
No, I don't believe any client has sought out crypto exposure.
Really?
Yes.
Is it time yet for BlackRock to either trade in digital assets or digital virtual currencies, if you prefer, or to create a product for your clients?
We're not hearing any demand from any of our clients.
It's not an institutional thing yet.
It's far from that. As I said, it's much more of a speculative platform for Asia, and it's heavily used for money laundering. Just yesterday, we launched the iShares Bitcoin ETF. I'm very bullish on the long-term viability of Bitcoin.
I was just saying, did that surprise you?
That surprised me how much that. As you know, I was a skeptic. Yes, I was a proud skeptic. My opinion 5 years ago was wrong. Here's my opinion today. This is what I believe in today. I believe Bitcoin is legitimate. If everybody adopted that conversation, it would be 500,000, 600,000, 700,000 for Bitcoin.
They lied to you to buy it on the cheap. What else is new in the banking industry, right? There is a new alert. I wanted to make sure that I talked about this early enough that you guys were paying attention. I didn't want to have any of you sleeping on me for this one. Microsoft warns about a still Sharot attacking 20 plus browser extensions like MetaMask, Coinbase Wallet, Trust Wallet, and more. Stay safe, double check links, and keep your seed phrases offline. So, here is that information. So if you are on a Microsoft computer, you might want to be researching this, making sure your computer is up to date and you're taking all the precautions necessary to protect your financial wealth. Here is some information about the current state of the US financial system and what we're looking at currently. So let me go over this information from the Kobayashi letter. Shocking stat of the day. Says we have just witnessed the biggest drop in U.S. equity allocation on record. So since they have been tracking all of this, I don't know how long ago they started to do this, but here you go. The collapse of U.S. consumers' unemployment expectations in the U.S. are now above 2020 levels and the highest since 2008. If you weren't around in 2008, what happened then? It was the financial crisis in the United States. Let's go through some more of this data so you can better understand maybe what to look out for. So here is the collapse of U.S. consumers' unemployment expectations. Here is the what they're looking at in 2024. A poll showed that a whopping 56% of Americans thought the U.S. was in a recession. Man, this is a little nerve-wracking. Here you can see they're pointing out the 2008 levels. As you can see, this is approaching those exact levels, and they weren't this bad. You can go back to maybe like early 2001, 2002 time, 1990s, and then further back the 1980s. This year right here, September 84, that was a good time in life. That is when I came into the world. But hey, this is getting a little nerve-wracking. All right, so here's more information. Below is a Harris poll conducted in May 2024 in the lead up to the election. 56% of Americans thought that we were already in a recession, and 49% thought that the S&P was down year to date at the time. In reality, GDP growth was strong, and the S&P 500 was up 12% year to date at the time of the poll. So, I think this all comes back to like not, you listening to me right now, you are not the average person, right? You are actively, aggressively educating yourself, learning about what's going on in the economy, understanding what technology is going to be used on a massive scale to transact in value in the future. That is what you are doing. The average American or the average person is clueless. Just please understand that. Fast forward to now, and consumers are even more pessimistic. The median expected change in household income over the next 12 months has collapsed. That is a stark word. In fact, expectations are now at their lowest level since the global economic lockdowns in March 2020. As you can see here, they're pointing out this expectations here almost to the levels of what we experienced during the financial crisis, and back in right after the financial crisis right here too. So kind of not good news, but anyways, inflation is making it even worse. The US consumers believe inflation is on the rise to 6% over the next 12 months. Truth be told, the economy was already slowing down under the Biden administration, and some of the changes the Trump administration have made, we haven't quite seen the impact of the positive things that those things will change over the next few months. Hopefully this data does change as we get more good data to, hopefully this is not looking good. Let's just be honest about that. Hopefully some changes will be made in Washington to avoid a catastrophe. Long-term inflation expectations in the U.S. are officially at their highest level since 1993. As President Trump rolls out a widespread tariffs and economic uncertainty rises, so are inflation expectations. The result is a massive collapse in consumer sentiment. So the reason we need to take a look at this data, guys, is because most of the people that are investing in the stock market, probably, some of those people are interested in investing in the crypto market. And this is where a lot of people's conceived wealth is, right? There's only I think it was like 27% of people actually own stocks, where the rest people don't. But the stock market is still a highly sought after metric for, I guess, wealth. And so as you can see, some of this data coming in is not quite peachy. It says a record 60% of U.S. consumers expect businesses conditions to worsen over the next 12 months. Even at the worst part of 2008 housing crisis, this metric peaked at 42%. Right now, it is at 60%. And the market in pricing in a recession, the S&P has decreased to -2% since the Fed rate cuts began in September 2024. In this case, rate cuts during a recession, the S&P declines -6% in the 6 months, -10% in the 12 months that followed. The average post-pivot return is +1 in 6 months. Furthermore, it's not just Main Street. In the March CNBC Fed survey, which includes fund managers, strategists, and analysts, recession odds jumped. The possibility of a recession rose to 36% from 23% just in January. So as you can see, just in a month or 2 months, this data has just kind of exploded, which is not really good. In the last week, the Economist YouGov poll, Americans were asked about their perception of the economy. 37% currently believe that we are in a recession already. 31% are just not sure. 32% believe that we are currently not in a recession. So as you can see, some people think we are, some people think we're not, and some people have no clue. In this time, white-collar jobs are also feeling the pain. The U.S. professional and business services sector has lost 248,000 jobs since May 2023. Jobs in the sector have contracted for 17 straight months, making it the longest streak since 2008. Gold has been doing extremely well. We don't really need to get into that too much. And there's supposed to be a Fed meeting tomorrow. Rates are expected not to change. There's also a little bit more data. We did cover some of this already, so I don't really need to kind of read this. We did cover this in a slide just recently, so let's keep it going here. We did talk about that. We did talk about... I don't think we talked about this. U.S. consumers are pulling back on spending on dining out. Restaurants and bar retail sales dropped 1.5% month over month in February, the biggest decline in 2 years. This marks the second monthly decrease out of the last 3. As a result, restaurant sales have plummeted by an 8.5% negative annual rate over the last 3 months, the most since Q1 2022, when GDP contracted by 1%. This is a sharp decline from the high single-digit growth we've seen in Q3. This comes as food inflation has been a major issue, with food away from home prices rising 30% in the last 5 years. Understand this too, guys, with the tariff issue as well, things could be 25, 50% more expensive on top of all of this other pressure. So, if things are not cooled down on the tariff war, things could get out of hand pretty quickly. All right. Actually, too soon to talk about this. Hold on. Let me move this down here a bit. All right. I did want to discuss this. Ethereum leads real-world asset sectors, holds 52% of the total on-chain real-world assets. Obviously, when you have, the XRP ledger being, a great place to participate in U.S. treasuries and other types of real-world assets, it is only going to grow and get bigger. So we did talk about the Solana network fees. This is actually interesting. Solana, I guess, put this commercial together, and right after the commercial was released, it got a bunch of bad press, and the Solana deleted it. So check this out. It took them 9 hours to delete it. All the major players in the Solana ecosystem suddenly delete their tweets promoting, supporting the ad. RTD'd and liked takes it about, real-time tweets liked takes about being bad. They approved this, they supported, they celebrated, they rolled it back because it hurt their business, not because they thought it was wrong. This is who they chose to be. This is who they showed you who they are. They don't get to hide and say, oops, my bad. So I'm going to play the commercial all the way through, and you can tell me what you think about this. I'll come to the chat and get your reactions.
So America, what's going on?
Well, lately, I've been having thoughts again.
What thoughts?
About innovation. You know, multiplanetary travel, nuclear energy, crypto, AI, you know, things that push the limits of human potential.
What you're experiencing is called rational thinking syndrome. Why don't we take this energy and channel it into something more productive, like coming up with a new gender?
But that's not going to stop me thinking about innovating and doing something.
Innovating, doing, these are action words.
The commercial is really bad. Let me see if I can find another one. Hold on. We're at 36 seconds. Let me see if everybody's posting this. So if you just look up Solana, here's 100. Here you go. This one's a little bit better.
Why don't we focus on pronouns?
That's not going to help.
I sense some cynicism. Have you been betrayed in the past?
You know, I used to think the media was my friend. Can I even trust them anymore?
Of course.
Of course they'd say that. That's a biased take. I got canceled for saying 2 + 2 is 4.
Have you ever considered that math is a spectrum?
What?
America, numbers are non-binary. We've been conditioned to believe that 2 + 2 is 4. It's a societal construct.
It's literally math.
Or is it a dominant narrative? Have you been practicing state-prescribed regulations we talked about?
Yeah. I've debanked some crypto founders, and I've slowed down nuclear reactor approvals, and depending on my state of mind, I change the SEC guidelines, but I don't like it.
If we don't regulate, how will we create jobs for people who work hard to make businesses slow?
You know what? Hard work, innovation, rational thinking, it's in my blood. It's who I am. Railroads, factories, automobiles. I built the future once, and I won't be left behind now. I will lead the world in permissionless tech, build on-chain, and reclaim my place as the beacon of innovation. I want to invent technologies, not genders.
Lovely. So glad you were able to get some of that negative emotion out. Sounds like we'll need a few more sessions. When can I see you next?
You're fired.
Okay, so that they deleted that. I think was it because they talked about genders? Is that why they got such a big backlash? I don't know. I guess I missed it. But I guess that's what's happening in crypto right now. You have Altcoin Daily just in. Solana deletes commercial after massive backlash. Maybe it was because of the gender comment. I don't know. Maybe you guys know. You can let me know. Over 250,000 new tokens, mostly meme coins, launched on Solana in the past 7 days, despite the broader crypto market downturn. Guys, listen, you know, I've never seen a market quite like the one that we are in, where people are just blind to real innovation and tech, and they would rather chase the meme coin dream. And let me tell you, I met a lot of people. I could probably name on a hand how many people have made multiple millions of dollars through meme coins. Usually people end up losing money with meme coins. Also, the Polkadot ecosystem is growing. I haven't heard anything about the Polkadot ecosystem in quite some time, but it looks pretty luscious, man. There's a lot of things going on. You got DeFi, DAOs, wallets, security, infrastructure, you name it, identity, cold wallets, common good explorers, so much stuff happening on the Polkadot ecosystem. ETH History is repeating. Altcoin season is close by. Keep a close eye on Ethereum, guys. When you see Ethereum starting to go through the roof, then you know it is time for altcoin season. Acting SEC Chairman Mark Ueda says that the agency is considering revising or rescinding Biden-era rules on investor protections, including crypto asset regulations. So, yes and no, right? Like certain regulations keeps the general public safe. So, I mean, I get wanting to make it easier for crypto companies to build and evolve in the US, but getting rid of all the protections for you and me, the retail consumer, I start to get a little nervous about that. I just wonder like what the crypto market would be like if we could wake up every day, participate in a market without there being a million scams floating around. You literally are walking through a minefield in the cryptocurrency market, hoping to not get blown up by a scammer. All right, Justin Sun stakes $100 million in Ethereum, securing the annual passive income of $3 million. That is pretty juicy, getting his 3% on 100 million. Must be nice when you can take $100 million in Ethereum, stake it just to make a few million. Coinbase introduced verified pools built on Uniswap v4 with integrated KYC verification to ensure only verified users can access liquidity. The system aims to enhance security and compliance in on-chain trading. You also have, looks like there's a game being developed. A nostalgic Sega game heading to the Sui network joins revamped Atari and Super Nintendo titles that are introducing gamers to blockchain. Here it is, Code of Jokers, Evolutions, developed by Jokers. I've never heard of this game. I guess you can't play it. All right, cool. Fun stuff. Also here you have Zappo Bank launches Bitcoin-backed US dollar loans up to $1 million. This is interesting, right? More ways to use your crypto to maybe get more capital to buy more crypto. 21 Shares applies to launch a Polkadot ETF on the NASDAQ. That's interesting. You also have, here we go. Here's the XRP news. Okay. Kevin Cage put this out, just the start of the XRPL tokenization. Here is a great tool to track all of that information. This is at $50 million right now. I was looking at this maybe like 4 or 5 days ago, or maybe it was a little longer. Maybe it was like late last week. And this was at like 20 or 30 million. So this is already making big strides. Yeah, look at this, up 395% over the last 30 days. And they only actually have ARCX here, RLUSD, and Open Eden. I'd imagine there's going to be more things and protocols added to this, and it's going to track all of that. And then here's the US Treasury debt, 50 million, stablecoins, 44.1 million. I think this is definitely going to be growing. Look at this. The Arbitron Liquidity Fund, 1 holder, Open Eden T-Bill Vault 1, and then 28,600 holders of RLUSD. That's gaining some definite speed there. Markets are nervous and headed lower prior to tomorrow's Fed meeting. So tomorrow you are going to get Jerome Powell up in front of the audience talking to us about what they plan to do. If you look at the CME chart, it does think that there's like a 99% chance that rates will not change. Remember, the U.S. is trying to refinance $9 trillion this year. If rates do not go lower, then we are going to be spending a whole lot of money on interest. So keep that in mind tomorrow. Obviously, if they did decide to lower rates, that could do us some good in the crypto industry. Making money cheaper to access allows more money to be put into markets. If you remember back in 2020, money was so cheap to borrow. You could literally go to the government and get a 1% loan on, 5-6 figures. Let me go ahead and play this. This is a CoinDesk news update. You have Doge's Elon Musk uncovers U.S. magic money computers. Gemini appoints a new CFO. Japan's Meta Planet buys more Bitcoin. U.S. Bitcoin ETFs resume back-to-back day inflows.
The U.S. government is creating money out of thin air via 14 magic money computers. Department of Government Efficiency head Elon Musk telling Senator Ted Cruz in a podcast that U.S. departments, including Treasury, Health and Human Services, State, and Defense, have computers that issue payments to people out of nothing without any coherent accounting and are probably off by up to 10% in reporting government expenditures. Bitcoin advocates are sounding the alarm to fix the money with Bitcoin, which has a limited supply and protects against currency degradation. Crypto exchange Gemini has appointed a new chief financial officer as it positions itself for a potential initial public offering. The company's latest hire, Dan Chen, who previously served as vice president of capital markets at Affirm, announced the move in a social media post. Chen will work alongside Gemini co-founders Cameron and Tyler Winklevoss to help scale the business. If Gemini moves forward with the public listing process, it will be part of a small but growing number of crypto-native companies considering an IPO in the U.S. stock exchanges, including Kraken, Circle, Blockchain.com, and Bullish, the parent company of CoinDesk.
Friends, DeFi is...
All right. So somebody asked in the comments, let me just address some of your comments really quickly, guys. Sabrina asked, how can you get a return off of RLUSD? And so what some people are doing is they're going into like Open Eden, as well as the partnership with Ondo. You're using RLUSD, which is the stable coin. You're locking up a certain amount of money to get a I think like the last time I checked, this was like a 4% return. So if you locked up, let's say $1,000, right, in one of these T-bills, like on an Open Eden, if you get a 4% return on the $1,000, you're making $40, right? So these are really like designed for, 7 figures, 8 figures. Like if you locked up, let's say $1 million and you got 4% return a year, you'd get 40 grand, right? So most people, if they can get like $5 or $10 million worth of wealth, they can turn those into treasury bills and get a nice, 3-4% return every year and live off of that money. That is basically what you can do with that. There's going to be other use cases that are, going to be involved with that, but that's really the gist. I hope you better understand that and get it going. Kevin's in the house. What's up, Kevin? Good to see you, man. Adam, what's up, man? Good to see everybody. Let's see here. I got you, Sabrina. Good. All right, cool. Sensei, Adam had a question about Atkins. Let's see. Where is it? Adam, how high up was it? Any update on Atkins? Is that the question? So Paul Atkins still needs to be voted into the SEC chair. It should happen, over the next few weeks. I don't have an exact date. I do know that Paul Atkins, I had a clip in one of my videos yesterday where Paul Atkins understands how important the Ripple ruling is, and he's been following it pretty closely, which tells me that's a great sign, right? He understands how important that case is. And it does sound like he didn't come out and flat out say that he's going to drop the case, but that has been the gist from the SEC. Any case in the crypto industry that didn't involve fraud, they were going to drop. So hopefully we'll have more information on that, my friend. Smash the like and sub. I appreciate that, man. What's up, Recon Ripper? What's up, man? Rippler. It's good. What's good, man? B-Fire. March 27th. Is that right? B-Fire? March 27th is the date? Let me see. Paul Atkins vote for SEC chair. Let's see. That date might be right. Let me see. Let's see here. March 27th. Yes, B-Fire is absolutely right. Senate committee hearing March 27th. So we are waiting for the end of the year, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully that will answer your question about that. Good day from Australia. What's up, Glenn? Hodl the out of your XRP. I love it, man. Good to see it. Sensei, do you have any insight on crypto index, a pre-sale token? Any chance you heard about it, my friend? I have no idea what index is. I can try to pull up some information here in just a second. Sensei, do you have any thoughts on TARS AI? Yeah, I've done like 4 videos on TARS. I own a little bit of TARS. Seems to be a very legit company on the Solana ecosystem. They have a whole thing where it's like a chat GPT kind of their own setup where you can ask different crypto questions to an AI. A lot of things they're building. They got a grant from the Solana Foundation as well. Looks like a pretty decent company, man. Watch the video I posted in Ultrable. Kaz, what'd you post in Ultrable? Hold on, let me find out. Oh, I wanted to show you guys this too. Hold on, real quick. Let me show you this. All right, hold on. So yesterday in trades, Rayon posted this token, KTA. He posted this. Let me see. He posted this at 6 p.m. last night. Check this out. Where's it at? Should be right here. Okay, yeah, here we go. All right. I want to show you this real quick. So yesterday, Rayon, someone on our team posted in trades yesterday. If you would have acted on the post, check this out. Kita, out of stealth, we are finally open in the wild. KTA token is live. The future of blockchain banking starts today. Powering Kita network, KTA serves as the Kita's governance token, making it a centerpiece of the high performance layer 1 network. 10 million TPS, 400 millimeters, 400 ms settlement, and then it says join our journey for real world adoption, and it has the, of course, the token address. I just want to show you this really quickly. Here is the token. Man, this thing has been running. Look at this. So this is where Rayon posted it last night at about 6 p.m. This is actually even higher now. Hold on, let me actually add this up real quick. Hold on. This is actually up since he posted last night. Let me see. 17th, 6 p.m. What is that? 6 is 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So about right here. Right here. Okay. So let me measure this here. This is up to almost 300% since the post. Really nice. In the last 24 hours, 300% gain posted inside of Cryptonaires. There's more information. Here's the website where networks connect. Let me see if there's a video here.
Welcome to Kita Network, the blockchain that connects all networks. We created a unified platform for fast cross-chain transactions across payment networks and blockchains. Tokenized assets trade instantly and securely within Kita, with optional digital ID verification for compliance and trust when needed. With 10 million transactions per second and 400 millisecond settlement times, Kita is the foundation for a truly interconnected ecosystem. Fast, scalable, secure. Join Kita, where networks connect.
Man, 10 million transactions per second is a monster. Holy shit, that is crazy. I actually did buy some of that this morning. I actually didn't see that last night. So if you are in Cryptonaires and you got into that when Rayon posted it, congratulations. You are up a pretty decent figure already today. Less than 24 hours, up 300%. I like to see it. I mean, this has really flown under the radar. The world's most scalable blockchain network. Look at this. All right, there you go, guys. If you're interested in being a part of my community, I can give you the link, guys. If you want to join Cryptonaires, wap.com/Cryptonaires. Let me give that to you guys. If you're interested in kind of learning and growing, if you don't want to wait for videos to be posted about XRP, if you want to, get into new projects, as they're launching, we have a great team providing information. And that's a great example of, making our community money. So love to see it. All right. Let's get into some of this XRP news because I know that's what a lot of you are here to listen to. So here you go. Here is a market snapshot of where Bitcoin is year to date and where the top, few tokens are. You have Bitcoin, 9%, Ethereum. This is down 9%, right? Year to date, down 9.9%, Ethereum down 41.9%, Solana down 32%, BNB down 10.5%, XRP up 10.4%. Remember, a lot of the gains came during 2024. You have a new, it looks like LCX Exchange is about to join the XRP ledger. Look at this. So when this guy's talking about a new network, he's going to wink at Paul Barron. Watch it. Watch this eye. Watch. Oh, towards the end. Let me show you.
What would be the future here for you guys if you were to choose now?
What I can tell you is it won't be on Ethereum because they need a different settlement layer, which is much faster and probably also offering a hybrid model between private and public disclosures. So if the Bank of America would step in, they don't want to disclose all their transactions like it is on Ethereum.
Well,
so it will be a hybrid model.
There's a blockchain out there. XRP Ledger would be a good one. You could go right there to it.
Ready? See the wink?
Oh, I like that.
See the wink?
That's all I needed.
There you go. All right. So it looks like LCX Exchange maybe coming to the XRP Ledger. That'd be interesting to see. Also, you have some information floating around talking about banks have actually used XRP to settle transactions in real time with each other. This is fully documented. See for yourself. No speculation, no unproven claims, no missing details, yada, yada. Ripple collaborated with Technology Consortium R3 on a project in which 12 banks use XRP to settle transactions with each other in real time. We've got 12 banks to hold a digital asset for the first time ever. He said, I think it was a real show of faith for them. Thomas says that Ripple is now seeing a lot of interest from banks using XRP. We did talk about this already with Kevin Cage. That's great. It does look like looking for a positive reaction like this on XRP today. Sweep lows and intraday recovery. We actually have been consolidating and been moving kind of up. We did kind of peak out here about $2.50. We took a little bit of a dip. We'll have to see if we're able to break through some of this resistance. You also have Ratha Kahneman posting interesting paper, Regulatory Clarity in XRP, the path to global institutional stablecoin adoption by emeritus finance professor from Marquis. Not carried by a journal, sees the Genius Act as very positive for RLUSD. It says, while the SEC litigation remains an obstacle, Ripple's state-level licensing victories and RLUSD compliance under the Genius Act position XRP as a bridge between traditional finance and blockchain innovation. These factors collectively affirm the thesis that XRP's embedded utility, regulatory progress, and relationship with stablecoins reinforce its status as a pioneering functional cryptocurrency contingent upon resolving resolving legal ambiguities and scaling competition. That alt is right in the way there. You also have Bassett, right? This is Scott Bassett. He's in charge of the Treasury. It's great to hear somebody from the Treasury out on Fox News or whatever, talking positively about digital assets in America. Let me play this.
As I think this administration has made abundantly clear, digital assets are here to stay, and we are going to make the U.S. the digital asset hub of the world. For the past 4 years, the crypto community, digital assets, the administration retarded their growth, and we are set to accelerate that through a positive partnership. And through smart regulation, Senate and House are both pushing through very sound, safe bills to bring crypto and digital assets onshore in the U.S. and to make sure that the U.S. is both the financial and the technological leader.
We just need to figure out how to support U.S. companies, though. I mean, the current status of the, crypto reserve in the U.S. actually supports a lot of crypto that has nothing to do with the U.S. So if the U.S. isn't going to be buying, American-made cryptos to add to its stockpile, if they're just going to rely on forfeitures, they need to come up with some solutions for crypto businesses in the United States, at least give them some clarity in that regard so banks can really use crypto in their payment infrastructure. You do have 18 different XRP ETFs that have been filed. Some of these are the same company, but there are 18 of them from 9 financial institutions. You also have this a myth about XRP private ledgers. I thought this was a great clip I just found today. Let me play this for you guys.
There are private permission ledgers that are replicas of the XRPL that Ripple has trialed with institutions that are, potentially side chains or derivatives of the XRPL, but there is no other XRP. There's only one XRP. Now, when those transactions between counterparties that may be trusted start moving over the mainnet and move through XRP as the liquidity tool, or the DEX routes them that way because it's cheaper than moving them between counterparties in a trusted ecosystem, or the other counterparties no longer trust each other and they don't want to hold each other's stable coins, then that liquidity would then move into XRP, and so would that volume to be able to move the price substantially higher. But so if, there are quote unquote private ledgers that Ripple has trialed with these banks, which they have. We've talked to them about it. There will be some type of merge. We asked Ripple this. I've been to Swell. We've talked to them about it. I've asked David Schwartz this specifically. There are not 2 ledgers for XRP. There is the mainnet. The only asset on the mainnet is XRP. Ripple has created privatized versions of the XRPL that they have trialed with institutions. Okay. Just like they did with Bank of America. They have with the Bank of England. They have with other large institutions global.
All right, hold on. Somebody's talking in the chat here. Let me see what's going on here. So you guys are talking about Swift and Ripple and XRP. I guess you guys are going back and forth. Listen, Swift is a conglomerate of 10,500 banks, right? You do have, okay, so usually what happens here is the biggest banks end up winning the most, right? Because often their rails are used more than the smaller banks. And so smaller banks pay the bigger banks like Citi, JP Morgan, HSBC to use their rails on that system. So I did a video that talked about how much money in fees is generated in the current correspondent banking system, and the numbers are astronomical. It all depends on what kind of transaction that you are sending. Sometimes if you're sending a wire, your bank might charge you, you know, 25, 50 bucks, 75 bucks, or they might charge you a percentage, especially if you're sending, let's say, like a remittance into, you know, an area of the world where it's maybe harder to get money into that area. They can charge you anywhere from 5 to 15%. And if we look at $21 trillion moving around the planet per day, there's just a lot of money being made in fees. And so what, you know, Ripple's sell is to banks that are looking to speed up maybe Swift GPI payments is using XRP. I did I broke this all the way down, especially like in the FX market where you have about $7.5 trillion a day moving in the FX market. When it's all these different currencies, usually you're being charged anywhere from like 1 to 4% on those type of swaps. You do about 1 million transactions in that system a day, moving towards XRP. Using the system, the regular system, Swift system, you'd be looking at maybe like $100 billion in fees per day. Moving to XRP, you're looking at like $1,500 or something. So banks would literally save billions with a B per year. And let's be honest, that's your money, right? Banks make money by allowing you, the customer, to, you know, send money, businesses, whatever you're trying to do. And they make money off of you for sending that money. So if you didn't need your bank to send that money, right? Let's say you could go to Ripple directly and move money out of your bank account into somewhere else, right? There's just all of these new use cases that are being developed, okay, by Ripple and Hedera and Stellar and all these other companies. You know, it's just going to come down to the fact that like banks are going to be kind of put into a corner and made to adopt it, right? They can't put it back in the box anymore. And so banks, I do think, will make a decision to either start using XRP and RLUSD on the Swift system, because there's all these different connections into the system through, you know, with Ripple and XRP, or, you know, banks will have to decide whether to, you know, depending where the payment is going and, you know, what the fees are generated. Because listen, when you're sending a payment, like if I'm sending a payment from the US to, let's say France, right? You know, my wife works at First Hawaiian Bank. She says when they are sending money to Europe, they actually go through Citibank's rails. You know, they don't have a small bank either. So, you know, all of these banks use the bigger banks' rails, and the bigger banks usually make the most fees. So if you're talking about smaller to mid-size and credit unions, right, those are the banks that are going to be able to benefit the greatest from using stuff like XRP, because then they don't even have to go and pay all of these enormous fees to these big banks. I hope that was helpful. I know we kind of went off on a few tangents there, but we are in a bearish market, like Crypto Quant said. The current state of the economy is bearish. Technically, we're still in a bull market. Technically. Let's have cocktails. Are you on the island, or do I need to go out into the world and find you? Banking systems are slow with transactions. It takes 7 days to deposit 50 grand with banks now. I mean, that's the system we've had for decades now, right? It's just an old, outdated, slow system. And if you want to speed transactions up, if you want to save money, you start using digital assets. Simple. Let's see here. Mass adoption will be the catalyst for banks to use it. Well, the reason banks haven't used it is because of regulation. Let's be honest. That's what's been holding most banks back, especially in the US, because under the Biden administration, if a bank touched crypto in their infrastructure, the SEC would show up, with Wells notice to sue the bank. They shut down a few banks because they dealt in crypto, right? So there was a whole attack on the crypto industry under the last president. That's changed now. So we'll have to see how banks do it. If you're on Oahu, you got the right island, my friend. You got the right island. I am on Oahu. Hit me up on Twitter or Discord or something. Crypto Sensei, you're welcome for the super chat. Oh, you gave me a super chat? You gave me a super chat, Adam. I do apologize, Adam. I didn't see it. It didn't register on my screen. Thank you so much, Adam. Just wanted to say thank you for doing an amazing job. You saved me time searching for all the recent news and updates. On a side note, good luck with your surgery. Adam, thank you so much. Damn, how do you know about that? I must have said it in a video or something like that, because I haven't even told my community really that I'm having surgery. Anyways, guys, starting April 3rd, I am in fact going to have hip surgery. There's a tear in my left hip that they're going to go in and try to repair. So I won't be doing chats for probably a week or two while I heal. I'll be on crutches for 3 to 5 weeks, but I will still try to, be present. I'll have my laptop on my lap and I'll be able to, do what I do every day, hopefully with you guys. All right. But Adam, thank you so much, man. I'm sorry I missed your super chat. I love you. Thank you, man. Let's see here, guys. Wait, Wizard, we've been going for about an hour. Yeah, you can go back and listen to, man. We've gone through a ton of different information. I'm not fully done with the news. I have a little bit more, but I just wanted to get in here and answer some of your questions. I see people are going back and forth. I see credit unions and investing in crypto since 2020. Love to hear that, man. Thank you so much. Banks are not using XRP, and I think they will. Banks are not using XRP, and I think they will ever use it. Will not ever use it, or will ever use it? That doesn't quite make sense, Jan. He says they will only use RLUSD and the XRP ledger. The RLUSD coin is a stablecoin. XRP is not. It's all hopium at this point. Man. Oof. Jan, I highly disagree with everything that you're saying. So first of all, if you have RLUSD, the value lives on XRP ledger or Ethereum. Most of this value will live on the XRP ledger. Okay. If you bring $1 trillion worth of stable coins on the XRP ledger, that in fact is going to boost the market cap of the XRP ledger, because the value of that stable coin will live on the XRP ledger. All right. So what you're saying here doesn't quite add up to facts on the ground, but all good, man. Everyone is entitled to their opinions. Thank you for sharing yours, Juan. Appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. Aloha from Oahu, man. We have all kinds of incredible Hawaii people here. What's up, man? I'd love to hear it. What's up, Ray? Hey, Crypto Sensei, what are your thoughts on the rumors that XRP, the public ledger, funds the private ledger? I did a video today on private ledger, actually. So that video will drop tomorrow. I think that the private ledger is like a testing ground, right? Some banks, central banks, financial market infrastructures, most of those guys won't want to have their transactions on a public ledger. So that's why you have this private ledger that banks will use, right? And so you can set it up between banks or you can set it up between central banks, but it should have the same price. Once they merge, it should be the same price or about very close to it. Because if it's not the same price, you're going to be able to like do different arbitrage. But up to now, it's been a big testing ground. And so I played a video earlier on that video when I made it. Let me see actually if I have that video still. Hold on. I do. Hold on. I got you. Let me load some of these videos up here. I'll play some of this stuff for you right now. It was just so interesting that somebody brought this up today, because I literally I just did a video on this, which is really good timing for me. All right, hold on. Let me load it all up. I need a few more. I need this. I need this. Hold on. The only shitty part about it when I do this is though not everybody watches the video because I'm not going to bring everything into it. I'm just going to bring a few clips. Okay, here, let's do this. You guys want to talk about private ledgers? Let's do it. I got you. Let's bring it up. All right. Here is the first evidence that we've seen in the XRP space talking about a private ledger. Is Brad Garlinghouse discussing this openly. This is 2021. Let me play it.
We launched that product. We were partnered with one of the largest banks in the Middle East, and we went to market and we went live. And we had a call from a very upset Middle Eastern banker saying, wait a minute, people can see my transactions. I don't want people to see my transactions. So look, blockchain is powerful and a public ledger can be leveraged to make transactions. But banks, I mean, if every SCB transaction was written to a public ledger, would SCB be excited about that? The answer is no, I'll tell you very certainly. The nature of how we have evolved our technology, yes, some of it, XRP is a public open ledger. A different part of Ripple's technology that connects banks to the liquidity solutions, these are private, think about it almost as a private temporary blockchain between two banks.
All right, he's explaining to you what private ledgers are. Listen again right here. Please listen.
Technology that connects banks to the liquidity solutions. These are private, think about it almost as a private temporary blockchain between two banks that's cryptographically signing the transaction, holding it in escrow and releasing it at the same time. So you never have a situation where a transaction doesn't complete.
All right, there's more information here I want to show you. The Smoke Dog put this out talking about Ripple CBDC private ledger. I'm going to read to you a little bit more than the highlighted parts because it doesn't quite give you everything that you need. So the CBDCs that being planned by major economies are expected to perform well in terms of throughput. China's DCEP is expected to potentially have a much higher transaction processing rates than other CBDCs. Ripple CBDC private ledger, which is built for issuing currencies, uses the same technology that has powered the XRP ledger for its digital currency. XRP. The firm reported that it is in discussions with central banks worldwide to assess how its CBDC private ledger can be used to issue digital currencies. As to the mechanisms needed for various CBDCs to interact, Ripple has advocated the use of its cryptocurrency XRP as a bridge or a vehicle to effectively move the value from one CBDC to another in a frictionless manner. Now, take this exact example, and instead of CBDCs, just put a bank, right? ABC Bank. Between two banks, it's set up, all right? And then it says, likewise, Ethereum is currently in the process of upgrading. Okay, that's not helpful. All right, there's a few other things I want to show you here. There's this video with David Schwartz and Tony Edward from Thinking Crypto talking about a private ledger. Let me play this.
But the question is, will the value of XRP be the same in the private ledgers as it is on the public?
Yes. The value proposition of XRP is that it has these liquidity pools. It doesn't make sense to isolate something. Like there's no place where gold is worth twice as much as it is now, because if there was, people would just bring gold there and they would they would buy gold somewhere else and they would sell it there. Unless the only way that you can have the value be very different in two places is if there's a lot of friction. And if there's friction, someone will make a business of removing that friction. So I don't see any realistic scenario where XRP has significantly different value unless something's wrong. Like a good example of a case, there was a time where the value of XRP.
So, if you missed it, David Schwartz basically said right there in a nutshell that the prices need to be very close to the same, because if the prices are very different, somebody will come in and make it a business to arbitrage between the private and the public ledgers. So they're going to need to be similar prices, if not exact same prices.
They called it the kimchi premium, right? Where the value of XRP in some Asian countries was very high, but that was because there were capital controls, right? That was because things were bad. I think that's a sign that something is not going well. The value proposition of XRP is that you can take it to all of the places, right? If I sell you some gold and you say, hey, this gold can only be used in jewelry, you're like, well, that kind of sucks. I don't want that gold, right? The value proposition of gold is that you have access to the entire value proposition of gold. And so I don't see any scenario in which where it makes sense to snip pieces off, again, unless something.
But all right. A few other things I want to show you here. Here is a tweet from David Schwartz talking about this. Let me read this to you, folks. It says, the price is going to be very, very close to the price on the public ledger because it's very easy to move between private and public ledgers. This is how centralized exchanges work. When you buy Bitcoin on Coinbase, what you get is an IOU from Coinbase. says, but its value is very close to the value of Bitcoin on the blockchain because it's very easy to withdraw and deposit from Coinbase. That's how private ledgers work. And then there's also this. He says they probably won't perform most transfers on public ledgers, just as most people already don't today. Already, most XRP, Bitcoin, and Ethereum transfers take place on private ledgers. This is strange thing. What makes cryptocurrency special is that the public ledgers exist. You can get the benefits of the currency and the public ledgers without actually using the public blockchain. When I buy Bitcoin on Coinbase, I get the valuable right to move Bitcoin on the blockchain, even though I didn't use blockchain to buy it. Also, there's one more video I want to show you, and that'll wrap up our coverage here on private ledgers. This is Verson basically saying that he has seen a version of the private ledgers, and on the version that he is seeing, the value on this is $327,000. Let me play this.
Yeah, no. So I don't think they're using another XRP. I know they have a private ledger and a public ledger. I've seen the private ledger once. I've seen the price go as high as $327,000. And you could see this on one of my shorts when it hit about $10,000, $9,000, I think. I've commented to about 20, 30 people at least that I saw them go to 327,000 on a YouTube video once. That was live in Japan, and from 5 minutes, a 5-minute YouTube video. And I've seen that the private ledger does exist. The public ledger also exists. Now, how do they keep them separate? Through nodes on the XRP ledger, right? The thing is, what the merge of the private and public, I think that will happen when this utility starts to come on, right? Also, I don't want to lose my train of thought. The XRP ledger, the private ledger, right? And the public ledger, at some point, they're going to have to, how would I say? There will be a merge at some point, guaranteed, but we have to have that regulation first and that clarity before they go ahead and utilize them.
All right. Does that help you guys better understand private ledgers? I mean, I didn't bring it all because I want people to still watch that video, but hopefully that'll give you a good understanding that they are going to be the same price. And, the interesting part about this, let me see if I have the video that I want to show you guys because, I do. Brilliant. Freaking brilliant. I love it when a plan comes together. Ladies and gentlemen, here it is. Okay. So what I want you to do is sit down for a second. If you're doing a bunch of stuff, just calm down, sit down and listen. Okay. For a long time with market cap, we have assumed that if you're bringing, $1 trillion worth of value into the XRP ledger, that the market cap moves up $1 trillion. Zach Rector and Jake Claver have a clip here that makes me believe that this is going to be a whole lot easier than I originally thought. Now I'm going to play the video. Once it clicks in your brain, you're going to know it. And we're going to talk about something right after this. Let me play it.
When XRP was drawn at 50 cents, there wasn't much TA to do on XRP, right? You're not really playing around with much. Now that it's been moving, one of the things that I've been closely watching has been the order books and the inflows. And something that we've talked about is this market cap multiplier is the term that I use. And basically what we've observed is the market cap multiplier on XRP is anywhere from 50 to 200x on the way up. And I've seen it interacted even more dramatic on the way down, where the multiplier has been 500 or 900x. And what that means is if $1 billion is coming into XRP through the order books, that the market cap is going to grow by 50 billion. So it's not a 1-to-1 ratio. And there's been this whole miscommunication, misunderstanding really of how this works, because people are locked into that traditional mindset of market cap to value stocks versus trying to value this technology and this network, and understanding that these assets are actually much more illiquid than the stock market is. And so they move much more dramatically. But to this point, folks think it's crazy to talk about these high numbers. Like even talking about $30 XRP, people say I should be shut down. Well, let's look at the math. I did the numbers, and if JP Morgan's prediction, and don't come at me, bring it up with JP Morgan, they predict 4 to 8 billion of inflows into XRP ETFs year one. Now I ran with the 200x multiplier on that. It brings us to a market cap growth of 1.7 trillion. That's trillion with a T. And if XRP is at a market cap of a couple hundred billion at the time, you're running up towards a 2 trillion market cap. It's a $30 XRP with the 58 billion circulating supply that we just hit. So it's going to take way less inflows to get us to these astronomical far off market caps than what people have traditionally been thinking. When I started to go through this exercise and follow these numbers, I got way more bullish because I realized, wow, it's going to be way easier to get to these high price targets than I'd previously thought. And so people will call us crazy for talking about $30 XRP, $100 XRP, $1,000 XRP, because they're doing the market cap calculation. And they're saying, well, Zach, that's 50 trillion market cap. That's bigger than all the stocks combined. And you say, well, yes, this is solving a problem that's quite frankly bigger than all the stocks combined, potentially. And to your point, if we just get slivers, little pieces of this action on Swift derivatives, and we could easily see XRP go to these prices. You combine that with the inflows on the ETFs, etc. It's going to be a lot easier to go to these higher prices than people are thinking.
All right, guys, like you heard what I heard, right? You heard what I heard. 50x. So if we bring in $1 trillion in actual real value on the XRP ledger, it's basically equates to $50 trillion in market cap. All right. So next question you want to ask me is, Sensei, what's the price of XRP if the market cap is 50 trillion? I got you. All right, let's take a look here. So if $50 trillion in market cap is on the XRP ledger, how much would each XRP be? $860. Okay, this is using Zach Rector's math, 50x, right? $1 trillion of real value should equate to about $50 trillion in market cap. 5 trillion should be $250 trillion in market cap. That would bring you to a $4,300 XRP. Now, if you were able to lower the circulating supply, right? The circulating supply right now is about 58 billion tokens. It varies depending on the day. Once you bring in staking, once you bring in banks and central banks that want to hold XRP long-term, right? If you can start lowering the circulating supply and keeping the same amount of value, I mean, what are you going to do here? And when you think about this, Treasury bills is where I see this value coming from. The Treasury bill market is $28.3 trillion. Okay. So, if the XRP ledger is home to 1, 2, 3% of that 28 trillion, we're going to have $1 trillion worth of value, right? You get to 3 trillion. If you get to 3%, 5%, you're already past $1 trillion in value, which would equate to $50 trillion in market cap. So, anyways, I'm kind of really off on a tangent here, but a $30 XRP is a joke. Definitely going to be. Justin, yeah, you're talking about, so it's not 48 billion, it's 3 to 8 billion. He got that wrong. And I mean, not like I'm correcting everything he's saying, but the JP Morgan inflows was 3 to 8 billion, not 4 to 8 billion. All good though. All good. David Schwartz says that there are two prices. Rasan says there's right now there's two prices. When they merge, it'll be one price. I just played like 5 videos all saying the same thing. Hopefully you understand that a little bit better. All right. Jay Powell mouth eats up my profits. It's not Jay Powell eating up your profits, man. It's other things happening. Ripple created the stable coin because XRP is not a stable coin. Man, I love when people just don't know what they're talking about. They come in and they just start saying stuff like it has meaning. Ripple created the stable coin because they're going into meetings with banks, and some of these banks want to use a stable coin. Okay, and Ripple was using USDT in some of their payment schemes and USDC. Ripple, being the intuitive people that they are, wanted to create their own stablecoin, right? Perfect timing, because it is the highest regulated stablecoin that we have in the United States. That is what banks are going to use in some of the stuff, right? If you're sending like domestic payments things like that, stablecoins will probably be better. If you're sending international payments that are going from like one currency to another, then XRP is probably going to be better for that. All right. Okay. People just need to do more research and understand it. That's why I put out 2 videos a day. You know, like if people would just like take a deep breath, watch all the content that I'm putting out, or go back and watch some of the content I've already made, that'll really help you better understand it. How will it be possible for banks to refuse to use XRP entirely? I've heard some that who are 100% will not touch anything crypto. I think this is like what we're talking about, right? That banks under the Biden administration, if you touch crypto, the SEC was going to come after you. Now you don't have that. You actually have the green light from the OCC, which is the banking regulator for crypto, that they can hold crypto assets and use crypto assets in their payment infrastructure now. All right. All right. I'm going to get back to some of this news. Okay. We took a massive side there. But I hope you guys better understand it. All right. I didn't really like them putting Brad Garlinghouse in the corner, but at least he's on the same kind of like row as Trump. I thought this was valuable. Let me play this.
John Bollinger, the inventor, the creator of the Bollinger Bands. If you don't know what it is, look it up. He commented on the XRP chart, folks. This man made the bands. These bands have indicated for us over the past years the strength of a chart. When these bands get tighter, the further they break out. And he's saying in here, is XRP gonna be the leader? This is interesting. He's been analyzing charts for a very long time. He's been looking at all different types of crypto charts, stocks, you name it, whatever you can chart, this guy's charts. And he's telling us that XRP is showing major strength. Are you kidding me? John Bollinger. Let's go, folks. All
right. We did talk about market caps. There's this video floating around. This is not a new video, but it talks about XRP is the quote currency of the XRP ledger. This is made possible by the auto bridge feature. Let me just play the video.
I think that like having a high quality stablecoin both on the XRP ledger and in other places, on the XRP ledger, we think it'll turbocharge some of those DeFi use cases like lending, real world assets. Like if you sell a real world asset, you don't want to have to hot potato out of a digital asset because you didn't want if you want the exposure to digital asset, that's great. But we want people who don't want exposure to digital assets to be able to participate in these DeFi ecosystems so they can grow as well. And it's not a pivot away from XRP because the XRP is the XRP ledger's like native token. It's its gas token. It's what you pay transaction fees with. And the XRP ledger has features like auto bridging that kind of put XRP in a central role, providing liquidity between other assets. And so the more other assets there are, the more opportunities there are for XRP to bridge between those assets.
All right. A little bit more stuff here. XRP has the biggest market cap for any US-based cryptocurrency. I don't really need to get into that. I thought this was a good clip too. I think this is from the NASDAQ, right? Hold on, let me bring this up here. Just talking about XRP, XLM, HBAR mentioned on NASDAQ. Listen closely. You are watching mainstream media wake up in real time to the immense potential that ISO 20022 will bring to the crypto markets. What was once dismissed as speculation is now being acknowledged by the very institutions that shape global finance. Let me play this for you.
We had these 2 big clumps of performance, and in between we had to be super patient. It was really a Bitcoin year a lot, although after the election, the idea of smart contract platforms and other growth-oriented digital assets gained favor. They have much more to benefit from a new regulatory pavement. So Ethereum sprang back to life, a lot of other layer ones, a lot of DeFi protocols. So the CoinDesk 20 index ended up 88% on the year. The top performers of current constituents were on nobody's bingo card, right? Ripple and Stellar and HBAR. So a lot of the names that were where there was excitement in the beginning of the year sort of switched places. So it was a very strong year, and it really provided a launch pad for 2025.
Which is interesting because we was talking.
It's good to hear them talking on the NASDAQ about it. I thought this was really stupid, Radium, to launch its own version of Pump Fund. I mean, literally, how many of these dumb platforms do we need? Do we need another 250 million scams that are created? I just don't like the way the market is headed. All of these, this is greed. This is absolute greed. The reason that they're all doing this, and it's just, it's really bad for the overall growth of ISO tokens or anything with real value in crypto. All right. I'm here to answer your questions. What you guys got? We went through the news. I lived on Oahu for 10 years. I did too. I lived on Oahu from when I turned 19 to like 30, moved back to California to have surgery, got stuck in California for 8 years, and I've been back in Hawaii for 2 years. Let's see here. On Paul Barron Network, supposedly April 16th, the SEC will end the case. I mean, great. I've seen a bunch of different people saying that the case has already been, dropped. They just haven't announced it yet. I've seen other people saying that Ripple wants to lower the fee that they're paying, $125 million. They want to lower that, as well as they want to be able to sell XRP to institutional clients. We'll have to see. Ripple wants to have a favorable ruling, and they're waiting for it. Why would people wanting to put an asset on the XRP ledger buy XRP instead of RLUSD? Why would people wanting to put an asset on the XRP ledger buy XRP instead of? So I think we're getting two things mixed up here. There's XRP, which is the native currency for the XRP ledger, like gas token, right? RLUSD is the stable coin. But if you're talking about adding tokenized value on the XRP ledger, I'm not quite understanding the full scope of this question. Why would people wanting to put an asset on the XRP ledger buy XRP? So if you're bridging an asset onto or creating an asset on the XRP ledger, I'd imagine that's going to take some XRP to create that into life. You're going to need to have gas to do that. So you're going to need some XRP to do that. And depending on what value you bring on chain, you might need some XRP to back up whatever that value is. So I don't know. When will the two ledgers merge? We don't have an exact date, James Fry. Will tomorrow be a sell the news event? Recon, what's happening tomorrow, man? Been watching you for weeks. Something else to consider about the XRPL. Ripple is going to run side chains. Duke, it doesn't matter how many side chains Ripple's runs. They all run on XRP. It's the same technology. So it doesn't matter if there's 1,000 side chains or 2 side chains. They all work with XRP. Do you think we'll ever see 170 again? I mean, we saw back in 2017, XRP went to like $3.80, and then you saw 25 cents again, right? So I'd imagine that we are still in a very speculation market. When that speculation ends and we go back into a bear market, you might be able to see XRP under $1 again. We'll have to see. Do you think XRP will hit $27 this year? It could probably happen, depending on the XRP ETFs and how much money actually flows in through those ETFs. If it's like $8 or $10 billion, you might have a shot at getting there. Doesn't the value of a stable reside in its reserves? Treasury, for example, not XRP. XRP will be used in the exchange from one stablecoin to another asset, for example, using AMMs. Thanks, Sean. Doesn't the value of a stablecoin reside in the reserves? So yeah, so you're backing, the reserves are usually some type of like treasury or T-bill that backs up the stablecoin 1-to-1. So if you have $1 million worth of stablecoins, you need $1 million worth of, some type of security to back up that $1 million of stablecoins that you have. That's been the whole conversation of USDT, why they've never had a real audit, right? A lot of people don't believe they actually have $150 billion to back up the stablecoin. So the value will still live on the XRP ledger, though. The treasury, right? To back up that value. Like you have the treasury, you have the security in real life to back up the value, but the value still lives on chain, right? Because you are redeeming it on chain, you're minting it into existence, and that value is now created on the XRP ledger. All right. Are there ways to make passive income from our XRP holdings? Yes, you can do AMMs. You could get into Open Eden and do treasury bonds. There's also native staking and staking on Flare coming to the XRP ledger. October, they merge. I heard in one comment. Yeah, I've heard this a lot too, man. I'm not going to believe anything until I really see it. In my professional opinion, once the SEC case has been dropped and the ETF comes in and Japan goes live, what is your estimate price? Like, I would just be guessing. And like, what's the point of that? I don't think anybody truly knows, because I don't think anybody really knows how much or how many different banks in Japan will actually be using XRP and at what scale. Like, I would need some of that data to even come close to a price target, or I'm just like, you know, pissing in the wind. I have no clue, man. But, you know, you get $5 or $10 billion in ETF inflows, that'll juice the price up pretty nicely. I just played a clip with Zach Rector saying like, you know, $8 billion could bring the price of the XRP ledger to like $30, $35. You start throwing in, you know, tens of billions of dollars in transactions, it might have some type of impact, but really you're not going to get huge impact until you're moving like trillions of dollars per day. I think the lawsuit has already been figured out. I just don't think it's been announced yet. What's Flare? Flare Network. This is Flare. Flare Networks, the platform for non-smart contract asset DeFi built on enshrined data protocol. Excuse me. That's Flare. Mongrel House XRP. I have no idea what that is. Hopefully April 16th. I mean, you know, I think it's already been figured out. I'd imagine it has. It would just be crazy to have the SEC drop all the other cases and not drop the XRP case, you know, or the Ripple case. I just doesn't feel good. Do you ever trade XRP, or are you LT investor? If you trade, what is your percentage of holdings do you trade? John, I don't trade. I just add XRP when I can. I'm not a day trader. You know, I don't try to like call a top and then sell and then try to buy back in with the 10 cents change. I just don't have time to do all of that. So I usually buy and I hold and then I get out when you know I'm up. Well, with XRP, it's a little different than some of the other assets. April is a great month. I hope so, man. April 2nd, tariffs are supposed to be put in place. Yeah, that's going to be real bad. That's going to be real bad. If anybody thinks tariffs are a good idea, I have the complete opposite opinion about tariffs. Tariffs are going to wreck the economy. You already have people pulling back spending. You know what I mean? Like you picked a really bad time to introduce tariffs into the world. But hey, it seems like there's some type of plan. I don't see the plan, but there has to be some plan, right? It can't just be, we're going to do tariffs and there's no research or anything that was put into that. That would just be crazy, right? That would just be crazy. Do you think they crash the economy first before the new financial system goes live? Isn't that the whole thing, right? The financial system gets wiped out and then a great reset comes in to save the day. You know, I don't really like that whole train of thought, because if that does happen, you're going to have millions of people, you know, lose a ton of their wealth overnight. And, you know, it would just, I don't know, doesn't seem like good karma to wish that something like that to happen. Lewis says, Crypto Sensei, what would happen if tomorrow the Fed state they will drop rates and Ripple cases dropped? Well, I mean, dropping rates would be great for the markets, right? Because the US already has to refinance trillions of dollars worth of debt this year. Some people I've read, you know, we have this conversation in Cryptonaire sometimes to better understand like what's going on in the economy, and people share their inputs. And so some of the people in Cryptonaires saying that Trump has a plan with the tariffs. He wants the economy to kind of slow down, and he wants, you know, less money to be spent. He wants, you know, jobless claims to creep up. So the Fed is forced to drop rates. Hopefully that is the plan. We can't let the tariffs win. I don't know what that means. I have no idea what that means. If Ripple gets on NASDAQ, will it be XRP people buying or actual stock in Ripple? So if you're talking about Ripple, the company going public, that's Ripple stock, has nothing to do with XRP. Now, if you're talking about an XRP ETF on the NASDAQ, that of course is XRP, right? You are buying a share of stock that represents a certain amount of XRP. That's what that means. I hope that answers your question. Dollar cost average versus buying lump sum XRP. Dollar cost averaging is always the smarter play than buying in one large lump sum. I have learned that from doing it. Only read that only 20% of banks in Japan will use XRP, but who knows? Yeah, I've read somebody saying all banks, which I never believe. Anytime someone says all of something will do something, that'll never happen, right? There's going to be some banks that decide to go with HBAR, or some banks that decide to go with Algorand, or some banks decide to go with XLM, or some banks that decide on, crypto's not for them. It's impossible to know. Tariffs could promote resilience on crypto. Tariffs and crypto have nothing to do with each other, so I don't know why we would be trying to connect those two, but okay. I'm interested in listening to what you're saying. Tariffs are a necessary evil. Are they? Are they? I don't know, man. Are these live videos every Tuesday, Sabrina? They're every Tuesday and every Friday, unless I have some type of doctor's appointment or I'm pulled away. Some days I don't sleep very well and I'm like a zombie walking around my house. So like some days I don't have the bandwidth to get up here and answer questions for 2 hours and go through all this stuff. But last 3 years, we've been doing these twice a week. Tariffs are great. Do me a favor. Can you share an example in history where tariffs actually proved to be a good thing? Because when I ask this question to people that say tariffs are great, they usually don't have the answer to that question. So let me know. And I'm sure you're going to go to Google and you're going to type in, when were tariffs a good thing in history? Good luck finding a real solution to that. April 16th, new SEC chairman. Yep, we're waiting for that, man. That'd be great. How much Ripple should I be aiming to accumulate? So are you asking, should you be accumulating Ripple stock? Because how much Ripple that you're asking about Ripple stock? I have no idea. You need to talk to like a stockbroker or financial advisor. I am neither one of those things. Laugh my ass, can't pet the tariffs. Can't let the tariffs win. Was going for George Bush meme. Yeah, fell flat. Hard to share memes in the chat, but all good. I might tokenize my cat. That'd be interesting. Let's see here. FYI, Ripple's EVM compatible sidechain beta. This initiative aims to combine the best of both worlds, the robust features of Ethereum smart contract with the speed and efficiency of the XRP ledger. I love to hear that, man. Thank you so much. Let's see. Tariffs are our first bargaining move to make other countries lower their tariffs on us. So, Robbie, has that worked out too well? Because it doesn't seem like that's working out too well, especially that tariffs are now targeted to red states. Listen, Trump's first term, he put tariffs on like a lot of like farm stuff, right? Like certain crops and things like that. It cost farmers billions of dollars. And then the government had to come in and bail out the farmers. My personal feeling is that the so-called plan for tariffs right now, I think is falling flat on their face. When you see a $6 trillion drop in the stock market in a week, that's not a good sign, but all good. Crypto Sensei, who knows insider news outside of Twitter? I'm sure that the needle will go up or down within minutes. I don't know what you're asking, Luis. I'm sorry, man. Tariffs are so harmful that everyone who gets tariff lays their own tariffs because when one person drinks poison, everyone else's great idea. I think people understand how to deal with Trump. I think Trump reacts to fear. And I think people understand that if you just stand up, right, that he will back down eventually. And I think that's what like Canada and Mexico are doing, right? Anyways, let me get back down here. I think tariffs are supposed to initially bring in money. Yeah, so they are supposed to initially bring in money, but you're making everything more expensive for your citizens now, right? Like, So, Trump always talks about, like, I think McKinley, the president that had tariffs in like 1890 or something like that. If you looked at the economy in in the second term or a few years after the tariffs were initially put in, it totally wrecked and gutted the economy. And if that's what we're trying to do, great, more tariffs. But if you guys want an economy where, you're not going to the grocery store and spending thousands of dollars extra per year, I mean, this is only going to lead to a bad outcome. But I'm all for listening to you guys talk to how it's good. I just don't see it. Sorry, but can you explain again why Ripple felt the need to create their own stablecoin? Jan, this is okay. Ripple, some banks, depending on what the payment is, right, don't need XRP for that payment. Instead, they would like to use a stablecoin. Okay. Ripple was already using USDC and USDT in their payment infrastructure. Ripple creating their own stablecoin was the next evolution of what they were trying to do. They want to keep everything in-house. And they're going to make billions of dollars off of it too. Do you watch Mikkel's live this morning? There was something going on with Bitcoin Maxi that he was worried about. I don't watch Mikkel's channel, man. I'm sorry. Oh, the Fed news tomorrow? Yeah, I mean, the Fed's not going to drop rates. He's not going to drop rates, man. They're like, inflation ticked down a bit, like 0.1%, but they still are going to say that they want more data. Tariff raised the price of imported goods, making them less competitive with domestically produced goods. Yeah, but listen. I think people don't understand that the US doesn't manufacture everything, okay? So when you basically are running the last few decades on a free trade agreement where everybody in the world can trade with each other, okay? Once you start adding different tariffs, this is more expensive, this is more expensive, unless that country is already manufacturing the goods that you're tariffing, your comment makes absolutely no sense, right? The US cannot get manufacturing up like China has, right? Or Mexico, or even Canada. We can't get it up overnight. It'll take years to develop that type of manufacturing. Plus, you're competing against fair wages in Mexico, right? Or even in China. China's fair, like how much money people have made since the early 2000s has gone up 17x. So it's more expensive now to create some things in China than it used to be. But still, Mexico is probably the best place to develop and build a lot of that stuff. Man. I think that everyone pretends they're like an economy whiz and just repeats the thing that they hear on like Fox News and hopes like that's a good response. I just don't think it's a good response. You're already seeing the current economy in the US is already slowing down. The tariffs are just going to put a emergency brake on the entire economy. Unless you are truly trying to crash the economy into a recession, you keep going with the tariffs and you will get what you want, right? But Trump ran on lowering prices on day one. He ran on stopping the Ukraine war on day one, right? There's just a lot of things that he ran on. And I think he thinks that tariffs are the best bet to get where he wants to go. The crazy part is it's his NAFTA bill that he negotiated in his first term. That is what he's attacking. The legislation he's attacking is his own bill. I don't understand that. We used to make everything. We don't anymore because you've had free trade for decades in the world. Just because America can do something. Okay, example. You can create a widget in America and it's $100, but you can create that same widget in Mexico for $20, right? It's the same widget, and you put both of those widgets out into the world. Are you going to have somebody that's going to pay $50 or $100 or whatever it is more for an American product? There are some people like that, But normal people that are on a budget, that are living paycheck to paycheck, they are going to go with the cheapest option. Hope that makes sense. Didn't Clinton open up for more free trade? Stock market rocketed during that time, and there was a balanced budget during that time as well, right? Different times, man. Different times. Crazy stuff. Tariffs worked in the 1920s. Not anymore, though. Not anymore, though. Not anymore. Trump is playing with fire. Like, don't get me wrong. I do not want to see the U.S. slip into a recession. I don't want to see people not being able to afford groceries. I don't want to see people hurt. Like, these are the type of markets that are only going to hurt families, right? Like, we want an economy that is booming, where everybody is making money, that there's so much extra money floating around the economy that people are buying crypto, they're buying stocks, they're buying miners, they have all of this extra free money. And we can go back and forth about a free trade agreement. I just, oh, God. How many bankruptcies has Trump had? 5, 6, 7? How many? Let's find out. How many bankruptcies has Trump had in his life? Let's find out. All right, here we go. Okay, you're telling me this person who has filed for bankruptcy 6 times, you're telling me that this person is the master negotiator? I just don't believe you. I'm sorry. I just don't believe you. All right, let's get back to crypto, guys. We could go back and forth about tariffs until I'm blue in the face. We're not going to get anywhere, right? Only time we're going to tell if tariffs are a good decision or a bad decision, and we're going to know pretty quickly, okay? From the data I've seen over the past 5 or 6 weeks, companies are very scared about what's to come, not knowing which tariffs are going to stay, which tariffs are going to go. People are going to get laid off. They're going to get fired. Companies are not going to produce as many goods because people won't be buying as many goods. It is bad for the economy. I am moving on. Tariff equals zero income tax. Perhaps. Are we just kind of guessing now? Perhaps. No, you cannot tariff enough goods, period, to make up $5 trillion. The US takes in $5 trillion a year in taxes. Come up with a plan where you can make $5 trillion on tariffs. I would love to see it. I think some like an economist did this. Everything that you buy today would be 80% to 100% more expensive. Everything in the economy would be 80 to 100% more expensive. You might get close, but you probably wouldn't get it. I agree with the tariffs film. I agree with the tariffs film. We need to be more dependent in steel, lumber, and pharmaceuticals, not China. I agree with you. I agree with you more than you admit, more than you know. It's just the way that we're going about it is not good for the economy. Income tax isn't enough to keep from having a massive deficit. Yeah. Coming out of 6 bankruptcies and becoming a billionaire is evidence of a master negotiator status. Right. Listen, if you tell yourself this stuff over and over again, maybe you can look in the mirror and believe some of it. I just don't. Sorry. So, okay. So the plan is to make Canada an American territory, right? So you're talking about crossing over a country's borders and what? Just taking their land? What? Don't like, isn't America like all about, we'll come and save you if somebody's, coming to take everything that's yours? Like, guys, we're getting way off topic here, man. All right. Yep. I think we're going to call it. Politics and crypto are double-edged sword, but we weren't really talking politics. We were talking about tariffs, and people just can't deal with whatever. So so this is what I want you guys to from this chat. Listen, I'm going to jump off here. The tariffs are a negotiating tool. After negotiation, they can be lowered. How far are you willing to take it? How much destruction in the economy are you willing to live with in order to maybe be right about tariffs? All right, guys. I love you all. You guys have a great freaking day. Take care of yourselves. We will continue this chat on Friday. Have a good week. I love you. Thank you for all the questions. Bye.